So we're going to look at another way to solve a quadratic equation. And the first thing I want to remind you of is the perfect squared trinomial that we've been factoring and the binomials that create them. So right now I just have some examples of the binomials, and remember I could write these as x plus 3 times x plus 3, and I could FOIL that out and I would get x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, or you can remember the pattern. Remember the pattern: square the first, multiply them and double, and square the last. So the pattern would be square the first, multiply them, negative 7x, double it, and square the last. Okay, I want you to really quickly do those last two. This would end up being x squared minus 4x plus 4. And this would end up being x squared plus 24x plus 144. And I want you to notice something. This number is always b divided by 2 squared. This number is b divided by 2 squared. See how there's a pattern there? B divided by 2 squared, b divided by 2 squared. Always gives me that last number. Okay? So there are two things you have to learn how to do before we can actually solve by completing the square. The first thing is how to create a perfect trinomial, perfect square trinomial. So we're going to take b, and we're going to divide it by 2, and we're going to square it. I've just created a perfect square trinomial. b divided by 2 and square it. I've created a perfect square trinomial. I want you to pause the video and finish the other I think 3 that are creating a C, and then come on back and we'll keep working. The second thing you need to be able to do is to make the a value 1. I need to make the a value 1. I'm not factoring out a GCF here. I'm just making the a value 1. So in this situation, I'm going to take that 2 out of that expression. In this one, I'm going to take the 3. Whatever that leading coefficient is, I'm just factoring that out, no matter what it makes the rest of it look like. Okay, I want you to pause and complete the rest of these examples. All right, so how do we solve by completing the square? I know I'm solving because this is set equal to 0. So my first step is to ditch c. So I'm going to subtract this 1 to the other side. I'm going to have x squared plus 6x. I'm going to leave a space, equals negative 1. The second is to find the new c. So I'm going to take b divided by 2, that gives me 3, and I'm going to square it, that gives me 9. And I'm going to add that in here. So what you have to remember is what I do on the left side of the equation, I have to do on the right side. So I'm going to add c to both sides. And what I have now is x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 8. My fourth step is to create the binomial. Squared. I'm going to create the binomial squared. So I know this side is a perfect square trinomial that will go into a binomial squared. This number right here will drop right in here. And I have x plus 3 quantity squared equals 8. I think you know how to solve it now. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. I'm going to get x plus 3 equals plus or minus 2 root 2. Then I'm going to subtract that 3 over to the other side. And that would be my answer. So this kind of came up getting ready for the last exam. So we're going to convert to vertex form now, but we're going to do it by completing the square. So the first thing I'm going to do is ditch the c. So I'm going to add this 8 to the other side. And I get y plus 8 equals x squared plus 2x. Now I'm going to find c. I'm going to take b, divide it by 2. I get positive 1, and I'm going to square it, and I get 1. And I'm going to take that 1 equals, I'm going to take this 1 and I'm going to add it to both sides. And I get y plus 9 equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. I'm going to create the binomial squared. So remember this squared. And this number right in here, right there, b divided by 2, drops right in here. I'm going to subtract that 9. And I've now converted to vertex form. Before starting this example, I'd like you to pause the video and finish the solve by completing the square. Then I'd like you to do all of the examples of going to vertex form where the leading coefficient is 1. We get a little more complicated when the leading coefficient is 2. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do again is ditch c. I'm going to subtract that 9 over to this side. The second thing I need to do is I need to make a equal to 1. So I need to factor out a. So I'm going to get y minus 9 equals 2 x squared minus 4x. And I'm going to leave a space to add the new c. I need to find the new c. I'm going to take b, divide it by 2, and square it. I get 4. And I'm going to take that positive 4 and I'm going to add it right in there. When you factor out the a, and you create this c. Remember, on this side of the equation, I didn't add 4, because this is really 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. I actually added 8 to this side of the equation. 2 times 4. So if I add 8 over here, I have to add 8 over here. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So I'm going to have y minus 1 equals 2 x squared minus 4x plus 4. I'm going to create the binomial squared. So this is y minus 1 equals 2 times the binomial squared. And remember, this number, b divided by 2, plops in here. And then x goes first. I'm going to add 1. And I've done it. Please complete the front of that worksheet. I won't see you guys tomorrow, so have a great weekend and have a fantastic Halloween. Not dressing up and going out. You're too old for that. Give candy to the cute little kids.